Right. Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me for what I hope to be an exciting and informational webinar where you will walk away feeling more informed and more educated and more empowered as you go out and track your accounts and better understand your online experience here with us. My name is Miller Hoffman, and speaking of experience, that is my main job here at TradeWinds. I run our client experience side of our business. So whether it's financial planning topics, which I know I've worked with a lot of you on, or your online experience here with us, we want to make sure the way that we're interacting with you is something that's positive, and when it comes to technology, is the least frustrating here as possible. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to outline our agenda here, what I'm looking to cover, but it doesn't have to end here. We're going to send my contact information out, or and a lot of you probably already have it, but if you are still having trouble with anything technology related here for us, the webinar is not meant to be the end all be all, and you don't have support. The opposite here certainly is true. So I want to make sure you all have access to me for whatever your needs may be. So we will work on that here with you. You will want to stay tuned here as a part of the presentation. I have a little surprise as a part of the webinar, so make sure you pay attention, and I think it will be certainly worth it. And lastly, before we get started and attack our agenda, I owe you all a big thank you. So thank you as you've been patient with us, as technology has changed already and been introduced to you. It can be a frustrating part here. It can be a wonderful thing when it works here as it should work, but frustrating if things are a little off or maybe not as not as cohesive here as possible. Um, we will go ahead and get started with our agenda. I am planning to mainly dive deeper into our TradeWinds portal today. We will touch on a couple of the other online lives that you have here with us. But mainly our TradeWinds portal is really impressive and something that we want to steer you in the direction of as much as possible. So your questions are certainly welcome here. I have um, Mike on the chat here with us, so he's going to help keep me under control here and also manage any questions that guys may have in real time. Um, so that's our agenda here for today. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to share my screen here with you guys. Hang tight, and we will make sure it all looks good here. All right, you guys should be able to see our wonderful website here. You'll see the trade winds in the upper right hand, or excuse me, left hand corner with the beautiful picture here of the ocean. My goal today is to go at a nice even speed where we're not zooming around all over the place. That's really frustrating as if you've been on other webinars before or other how-to tutorials, someone who's just flying around online is not helpful and it can be frustrating. So I'm going to try to go at a good speed here for us today. I wanted to start with our website because there's a lot of information that it contains. Our website address is tradewinds.global. So no .com, that's a common mistake there as you're looking to find us. And there's actually a lot of companies out there called TradeWinds. So tradewinds.global is us, and that's who you'll be able to find here with this too. Mike's done a really good job on Google, making sure our name comes up uh, pretty quickly when you search us, but our website here is pretty impressive. Um, I want to encourage you to watch our good video if you haven't seen it yet. Mike and his marketing team has worked really hard to put it on there, so I think it would be worth a minute and a half or so of your time. I think it gives you a good glimpse into what we're looking to stand for and what we do stand for as a company. But I also wanted to invite you to check out our news and press column here. We have a lot of really neat information that I think you may benefit from if you're curious or want to check us out in more detail. From podcasts that Mike and myself runs here, would certainly invite you to take a listen to some of the other neat articles and webinars that we write. We try to keep this as up to date as possible. So a lot of information on here and even older entries as I click on it. So we constantly want to write, and Mike does a great job of sending these things out, but we want to try to connect with you more than just your appointment times here to come in throughout the year, especially as things are going on. In case you missed it, Tim did a really great webinar in January, just a couple weeks ago, where he covered some pretty pertinent topics that may be on your mind as we enter 2024. Things like that little election we have that's going to be kicking off here, and the theater will begin shortly, if not already started. But if you're interested to know what Tim's thoughts are, I invite you to check out the webinar here he did just a couple of weeks ago. The main reason, though, we're starting on the TradeWinds site is I think this is the best place to start as we explore the different portals that we offer. Um, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's a small option there that says Client Login. Upon clicking this, you'll be prompted with two different options, and these are what we're going to mainly spend our time on here today. You'll see the left-hand option gives you an Access TradeWinds. So you'll see our logo here, our beautiful logo at that. This is the main portal that we service, we update, and is something we have much more control over in terms of what your view looks like. And you'll see as we walk through the various dashboards that we offer, I think you'll see why it's just more pleasing to the eye. And again, something we have more control and influence over in a good way in terms of what you want it to look like. But certainly you also have access to your trade PMR side. So this option on the right-hand side, this portal is through our broker dealer. So this is a trusted vendor of ours who we use to facilitate transactions like account openings or trading securities, adding beneficiaries, those types of things. So they have their own portal that they've offered to you. And for those of you who still get a lot of information through the mail, you will know and recognize that logo. They send a lot of mail to you, including information on how to log in and access their online platform. Um, we do not have a lot of interaction or control over this particular platform, which is why we tend to try to steer you in the direction of the left-hand side option, the Access TradeWinds one. The information is very, very similar. I mean, you'll see as we compare and contrast them a little bit here today, but just when it comes to getting you online and being able to interact with you in a more in meaningful way, the left-hand side is really helpful here for us. Um, Once you click on Access TradeWinds, you are going to be sent to this screen. Now, of course, you will see my email address has been the one that's populated, my miller@tradewinds.global address. You may also use your email if that's what you have set up as your username. That's the one I tend to use by default, unless you've requested another username to be used, or that's something you've gone in and changed here yourself, which we certainly have the flexibility to do. After clicking continue here, I'm going to leave the password blocked or the blank here rather. But this is a password that you have created. We can help establish a temporary password that you'll use upon your initial time getting logged in, or if you happen to have forgotten your password, we can always get it reset and help you get logged back in. But I want to take a second to really outline how serious we take security, especially when it comes to sensitive information like your accounts, the sensitive information that's related to that. So we never, ever want to know what your specific password is. The closest we will get is offering you a temporary password. As soon as you go in and change it to what you're targeting it to be, that temporary password is useless. Um, so not just the password there that we want to take serious when it comes to security, but we also use two-factor authentication. This is getting more and more popular, so with a lot of different platforms. What essentially that means is it's going to send you a text message or send you an email, depending on your preferences, each time you get logged in. It's another layer to further protect the integrity here of your accounts and information. So heaven forbid if someone did find your password, that everyone has that book that they have them all written down or a notes page on their phone. If someone did compromise that information, they would also have to have access to your cellular device for a text message or your email address. So having both of those degrees of access would be pretty rare. And you know to be on big time alert if you were to receive a security code out of nowhere. That means someone is attempting to log in using your credentials. So if that ever happens, we certainly want you to contact us and give us a call. We can help guard the account here a bit better. Um, Sometimes that can be a little frustrating, and we recognize that. The password criteria can be a little picky. It wants it to be a certain length, it wants you to use certain characters, and I think some number signs or special characters in there too. So, as frustrating as that is, we do it for a purpose. We want it to try to be as secure as possible. Um, After you log in successfully, you will be taken to a page that looks really similar to this. Let me make sure it's following along here with me. I'm going to stop sharing here for just a second, and we will get to our next page. Hang tight with me. All right. You guys should be seeing some neat information or more of a dashboard view at this point. Your view is going to look slightly different than mine. This is my administrative view, so I have a couple more options on there, but the gist is certainly the same. Same information you will be able to see on your end. Um, this is your TradeWinds portal that we offer, where we're looking for something sleek, but it gets right to the point and it shows the pertinent information that you may value as you're looking to assess the status of your accounts. So things like market value, so how much your accounts are worth. And by the way, this is an example account I've put into place, a real account that is, but an example here to show you what it looks like and how we're staying up to date here in terms of the information the dashboard offers. So real account here, but I'm using it for example purposes. Um, the portal or the dashboard here updates on a daily basis. So you'll see it lists the market value as of yesterday. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, or late Valentine's Day at that. But this portal updates on a daily basis, so it's not going to give you live quotes on Amazon stock or anything like that. It's going to reprice or pretty much refresh itself every day, so something to take note of. Market value, of course, is indicative of the entire account values. So if you log in and see an account value that's wildly different, let's make sure all of your accounts are being listed. Sometimes your household can include or exclude rather accounts that are certainly yours, but they may just be floating around without a household that we want to stick it to. So definitely something we want you to be knowledgeable about is how much your accounts specifically here at TradeWinds are worth. Um, in close concert here with that, we want you to know how they're growing. What is your performance? And performance over a variety of durations. So not just year to date, that's the default as you log in. The year to date meaning the start of this year, January 1 of 2024. But we also offer a couple of other time horizons here you can check. So maybe since inception for this particular account. Wow, nice looking performance there. I want everyone's account to look like that. But again, this is an example account and a very small one at that. So don't fall in love here with the numbers here too quickly. It's largely used to be an example. Um, the other two boxes that you'll see here on the right-hand side, I'm going to go back to year to date here. So you can see how easy it is to toggle back and forth. So it's going to update in real time as you select which duration you want to view. I always love this box here on the right-hand side. This is the idea of investing, right? Here is the comparison here between how much money you've put in, not just at one time, but over time, along with the portfolio value. So how much more has it grown, or depending on the year and how long you've been investing, how much maybe the value has decreased over time. In this case, we have a really cool example where we see a positive interaction happen even over a short period of time, roughly the first month and a half or so of this year. So you'll see that horizontal purple line is representative of the net amount invested. So in this example case, I put in $137 and the portfolio value here, it gets pretty small, but you can see how it ebbs and flows. It has some good days and some not so good days. But now we're listed here with $250, give or take, is the portfolio value with my the value that I put in is still constant there at $137. Yours may look different on your dashboard as either you're contributing to your accounts, which we're big fans of for those of you still working and accumulating your nest egg, along with things like dividends being reinvested or certain cash that you hold in the account being put back in to securities. Um, for those of you on the flip side in a retirement zone, this works the same way. So we will see the net amount invested decrease as you are withdrawing dollars from your account, which we want you to do. That's the point in which you've saved for over the course of your career. So we want to make sure the dashboard here connects with you no matter where you are in your financial journey. That leads and so segues well into this box here on the left-hand side, transaction summary. Um, you'll get to see, I think one of the line items here or the row that I tend to look at and am fascinated by is this market change or market value change. This shows you in a dollar format of how much the accounts grew over a certain amount of time. So again, this is a very small account, just using it for an example, but we can see just by the dollar amount of how much it's grown already so far this year. Um, for those of you who have been with us here since the beginning, and we thank you for that, you'll be able to see this over early 2022 all the way up to this point if you want to set that as a since inception idea. But even year to year, as we track your performance, and certainly that is something we watch closely, we want to understand what are we beginning the year with. So this upper row on the top, we want to know how it's changing. Is the market going up? Is it going down? You won't see it on this box, but there will also be a contributions row. Again, if you are actively feeding your TradeWinds accounts, and for those of you in retirement status, you will see a distributions row. It shows how much money you've taken out of the account. And of course, what we are ending up with as of today, or whichever time zone you want to pick. So really neat. It should live and breathe with you and be pretty neat to watch and track it over time. Um, as we scroll to the bottom part of this page, we get more into the investment strategy realm. You'll see an asset category allocation or just asset allocation is one of the most important decisions you can make as an investor, and that's certainly an element we want to help advise you on, along with the various asset classes you're invested in. Now, the asset class is a little light here in this example because I'm just holding mainly one or two different securities here. But if you have a nice diversified portfolio, you'll see asset classes like technology or information technology, things like industrials, banking or finances, utilities. We will segment that out for you so you really get to see the different pockets and how well your portfolio is spread out and diversified is that word we tend to use. Getting back to asset allocation though, this gives you a good snapshot here of your stock to bond to cash allocation. I don't have any fixed income in this example account, but you would see an extra row there if you did hold bonds or bond funds here with us. So this gives you a good idea. I'm 100% here in equity for this particular example account, but yours may look a good bit different depending on your risk tolerance here and capacity to take on risk, along with just your overall comfort level. So that's something certainly we watch closely as well. And the portal will, again, live and breathe with you as we see values go up and markets lift. We'll also see changes in your asset allocation and your asset classes, right? Not all stocks go up at the same time, and they don't all lose value at the same time either in the short run. So you'll see these percentages change and be dynamic day to day. Um, if you're interested to look at this in more of an account by account view, you will select the account here on the left-hand side. So we're taking a look at the aggregate here. So if you had, let's say, one or more accounts, let's say you had 5 accounts, you will see an aggregate picture, the total of the accounts and your total performance and your overall asset allocation. But you can also look at that account by account. So if we just drilled in a little deeper into this account here in particular, it's going to look really similar to the previous page, of course, but we get a couple new columns here, a couple new tabs, including positions and transactions is that main new tab. So you'll get to see all of the transactions here, either as your money is being reinvested, as you're putting money in, taking money out, as dividends are being paid out. It's really neat to be able to track that over time if you want to. None of this is saying you have to by any means, but trust that's something we want to offer to you, and the spirit here being as transparent as possible when it comes to your financial resources. That's why this is so important to us. Um, Looks like I am slow here in terms of um, things loading up, but I will click on performance so you'll get a better view of diving in deeper, depending on the security here. So I put Bitcoin and Ethereum in here again, just as an example account. But yours would look wildly different here. If you have financials, expect to see maybe JP Morgan in there, maybe Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, whatever security that you hold. We'll be able to track it specifically down to the stock itself, but also be able to zoom out and take an aggregate view of what you're looking for. Um, so really neat here to take a look, at the total account value here, but also zoom in account by account. Um, the portal doesn't just stop there, though. We spent most of our time so far on the investment side. We want the portal to be really applicable for your total financial picture here. So just your investment account is not your entire financial life, and we are certainly well aware of that. I've just put a couple examples in here to give you an idea of other information you can input to get you an idea of what your overall net worth is. So whether the assets are here at TradeWinds or not, you can connect in your outside accounts. If you have an HSA, let's say, or maybe an employer plan like a 401k that maybe can't be here at TradeWinds right now, or maybe you choose for it not to be here at this moment. You can still link that in and have an idea of your total financial picture from the investment side. But even things like mortgage or other debts, so think of a car note, a student loan, a business loan, certainly mortgage is pretty popular. But you're able to go in and toggle these things over time. So leave the spreadsheets at home if you don't want to continuously update them every week or every month. You can use the TradeWinds portal here to accomplish that all the same. So this is largely information you can go in and put. I just put a couple examples here for me, tracking the value of my Rock Hill home versus my home here in Raleigh. Each home is worth just a little bit more than the number you'll see listed. The overall idea here is to get you to an accurate net worth number, if that's something that's of interest to you. What are your total assets and how are those broken down between savings and investments? And then other assets. So think of things like your home, vehicles, other pieces of real estate, maybe business interests that you have. Think in that vein, along with liabilities. So what do we owe and whom do we owe it to? Things like mortgages or car notes, student loans, those types of things that I mentioned before. So net worth is a big topic that a lot of people are interested to know, answering that question of how much am I worth from a financial point of view, of course. Um, so neat. I wanted to challenge you to try to use the TradeWinds portal as a comprehensive view at your finances, not just from the investment side, if you choose to do so. I think that's really where we see your investment life here come to life, if that makes sense. Um, we've covered the investment side here. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. So investment side and then getting into more of the financial planning aspect. So looking at other facets of your financial life. Some of you will recognize these columns here, these rows. Things like getting your income, looking at expenses. I could put a couple of examples in here. Rental income, Social Security for you, other forms of income, and other things like expenses. Here's our outside accounts. I put my mortgage in there, for example, and of course, fake balances here at this point. But even things like insurance and tax, your tax picture, those are all things that are really important to us as we try to plan around your total financial picture. Um, Speaking of planning around a total financial picture, one of the ways that we do that, and something I want to really encourage you guys to use, is our document vault. This is a safe and secure place where you can upload information to. So I put a little surprise in there for you. Hello, webinar guest. So you can see how customizable this is. And you can use it for personal reasons or business reasons or financial reasons here as we request information from you, or we give you information right back. So surprise, we are right in the middle of tax season. I am going through right now and uploading everyone's 1099s to your own respective portal. Give me till the end of the week if you can, for me to finish the list here that I am working through. Perhaps you will see a 2023 folder when you go and log in to your account. 2022 was for last year's tax season. I am going through now and uploading your 2023 folders here for your 1099s. So some of you still may get emails regarding it, or the tax information here in the mail. We also want to keep good record of it in a place where you can go grab it quickly and not have to thumb through papers that may be scattered and filed away somewhere. We can make that cleaner and more easily accessible here. That's the name of the game. I promised you a surprise here. You can use it for fun, kind of family-oriented things or other pieces of information. Here is what the weight is worth here. I put a picture here. Hope you guys can see this, or I'm going to switch over here just a second. The point being, and you'll see in a second, you can use the portal for however you wish. So it makes it really easy to use. Let me see if I can get this shared here. Let's see. Hang tight just a second, guys. My apologies. Here's what we got as your surprise. This is the newest addition to the Hoffman household. Meet Mr. Mac. He is a good bit bigger than this now, but I use my document vault here for a frivolous example, but something that you can store, and you can see the versatility here of the document vault. So whether it's fun pictures to give you a funny example here, and we'll get back to this, but feel free to upload any kind of sensitive information that you may have. This is a protected place. Remember, two-factor authentication to get logged in the first place. So any information you upload to your document vault, we will be able to access on our end, and vice versa here. So when we upload something like a picture of a cute puppy, if this was for a client here, you would also have access to being able to view that. So tax forms are a great example. Um, as we do planning here with you and make sure we're serving and supporting you as best as we can, we will ask for certain kinds of information, whether it be insurance policies, updated debt statements, pay stubs, and tax returns are just a couple of examples of the types of information we'll look to ascertain from you, along with anything else that may be pertinent here. So you have the ability to go in and create whatever folder and how you see fit, and then upload any information that you want to as well. Um, so don't pay for cloud storage here, guys. This is something we are offering here for you. So think of similar programs like iCloud or Dropbox that may charge you to have cloud storage. That can be a great way to make that budget look a little bit better at the end of the month if you can cut those charges off and maybe shift more over to your TradeWinds document vault. Um, there's also, I kind of ran through quickly here, there is a reports tab here on the left-hand side. My view looks a little different than yours, but there are different reports that you can run. So giving you a printout of all the assets that you own, seeing performance and more of a printout version, looking at your asset allocation, so your stock to bond to cash ratio. You don't just have to exclusively use it all online unless you want to. You can also get more of a kind of a paper copy that's easier to print out and view. Um, but this is our TradeWinds portal. We think it's pretty clean. It's easy to see. We don't want to overwhelm you with information, but we are always more than glad to divulge any information that may be of interest to you. So you are able, I'm using it on a desktop version right now, but we also offer an app for your cell phone. If you look at go on your respective app store, so the Apple App Store and then the Google Play Store, and search TW as in TradeWinds digital, two separate words there. You should look and find our logo that you'll see if I go back to our website. Let's see, here we go. You will see the logo here once it loads up. If you have any other questions or concerns about finding the app, though, feel free to go for it. But we want you to take us on the go if that's what you find is more convenient. Certainly without forcing you to download another app, which it sounds like more and more places are doing these days. So we certainly don't want to force you to download anything. But look for this logo here. Kind of looks like a swoosh, some wind blowing. Look for that logo after you search TW Digital. Should be an easy download, and it will use the same login credentials as the ones you have set up for your portal to begin with. So if you go back to the Access TradeWinds page here, the same credentials you use, your username and password, are the same ones you'll use for the mobile application. But reach out to me if you have any issues with that. We can walk through it, make sure we're successful in that realm. I'm going to go back here just a second. I'm not planning to spend a ton of time here on the Trade PMR site, just because for reasons already mentioned, but I will click on it here and show you. This is the portal we have much less control over, and this is a separate company really than TradeWinds. Still accurate information and still secure, but we can't get nearly as creative with this Trade PMR platform like we can with our TradeWinds portal. I know the names are very similar here and it gets very confusing, but the Trade PMR option here will not offer a document vault or any kind of customized reports we can run. It still will track your statements and other tax forms, along with seeing your accounts and what they hold. Again, we're just big fans of nice and clean and easy, like the TradeWinds portal offers. For my people who love the Trade PMR option, you know how difficult it can be getting logged in the first place. It can be pretty cumbersome. They are very, very strict with their password restrictions or the characteristics that it has to match to get logged in. And you just have to call kind of a 1-800 number here that I'm highlighting on this message area here on the right. So I'm still more than glad to partner with you and call over with them. It's just not something I have a ton of control over from the TradeWinds side. The Trade PMR portal is going to be really helpful if you're sick of getting pieces of mail in the mail. It seems like every other week. The Trade PMR, the delivery settings strictly are set through them. And for some regulation purposes, we're not able to turn your delivery preferences on or off or amend them as needed. We have to make sure you have access to your statements or other information um, in accordance with your preferences. So if you're tired of killing trees here with the trade win or the trade PMR statements and such that you receive in the mail, reach out to me. We can help you get signed up just initially through trade PMR, and then we can turn those delivery settings onto electronic, where it'll send you an email on a monthly basis and just say you have a new statement waiting for you if you want to use it. That's the only really medium I use the Trade PMR portal for, and I encourage people to use it for. If you just can't stand to get as much mail in the mail as you have up to this point, but I'm still a big fan of paper, and I like seeing things in print right in front of me too. So nothing wrong with that at all. It just ultimately comes down to your preferences. I'm going to run back here in just a second. Mike, I'm going to check, or if you can let me know if there's any questions here in the chat, or if we are good to go. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we will take a look here. Any question or anything I've overlooked here, Mike, before I let everyone go? If you do have questions, Mike has sent out an email with my phone number, and I'm sure we can you can also email me at Miller at tradewinds.global for my email address, Miller being spelled just like it sounds, Miller at tradewinds.global. So feel free to shoot me an email if there's any further questions that you may have, or if you want to hop on the phone here with me, I'm more than glad to do that. So this is really important to us that you have access to your information and information how you see fit, whether it's a mobile application to run around with, or if you prefer the online kind of the dashboard approach. We want to make sure we're connecting with you in any way that you see fit. So I think I've covered everything here. I owe everyone a big thank you here again. Thank you for joining me, and I hope today was helpful, informational. But again, if you do have questions, concerns, or continued sources of confusion, feel free to let me know. That is what we are here for. But I wish the rest of you a great rest of your week, and until next time, see you guys. Bye.